Hey everyone, welcome back again to Joey's Wild Country channel. Your host once again, Joey. Well, on this special episode today, or video I might say, it's not even anything related about doing a review series, sealed to reveals. It's just me being about me. What do I mean about that is, this particular video today, I would like to just kind of bring back a little bit time of how I was first introduced to Elvis and his music. Well, most of you maybe have seen through a community post of mine, maybe recently, maybe about a few months ago. I posted about, about my experiences growing up and, first listening to Elvis and finding about his music and all. But in this particular video, I would like to do this in person through the video so I could, kind of explain this to you guys. I was always, tending to do this type of video, but I always kept kind of like pushing. But I'm glad to be with you guys on this one. And first off the bat, I'd like to say, when I was first introduced to Elvis, I was just a teeny weeny lad, and I would say anywhere I was about 7, 8 years old about, and I was in a school play. The theme of the school play was basically about 1950s, and everybody had like kind of associated with what song you're going to be choosing to play from or whatever. So everybody got their own little sample, and my sample ended up being Blue Suede Shoes. Now, Blue Suede Shoes, during that time as well, I was introduced in 2 versions. Of course, the famously was Carl Perkins, the original, who actually wrote this song on as well, Blue Suede Shoes. And then, of course, came the version of Elvis that was recorded in 1956. Now, I had to go out, and we're talking about, this is about 90, 95, somewhere between, I would say, because I was about 8 years old. Mind you that I was born in 1987. So I was about, it was about 95, somewhere along the line. And I was unassigned, and there was no internet, okay? Nothing like sort of that we have today. So I was in that kind of growing up, that kind of generation where we were mixed with no internet and then having internet and all that good stuff that came in later, and maybe not even good stuff, because a lot of things out there today just like a little bit more than that we can actually handle. But during that time, I was basically going on the weekend, and my dad brought me to this kind of record shop or thrift shop, whatever it was, and I was looking for the record. Now, we had a record player at home, and there was no sorts of Elvis that I had, because during that time I never even heard about it, because I'm just a kid growing up. And what particular single that we pick up or find, now I'm not sure how much it was. It probably was like not even a couple of dollars. It was this single right here, and it's a reissue of a gold series that was released back in 1959. As you can see, it's not the greatest copy, as it was played many times, started from myself including, and then previous owner, whoever had it. But you could see it probably was like a radio kind of a DJ that was using this. That has like the stamps and everything, but it got kind of like ripped out. So Blue Suede Shoes, another side, of course, was Tutti Frutti, as you can see. I mean, if I do play right now, there isn't like surface noise, but you could definitely hear that the record has been overplayed many times. So fast forwarding track. So that was about 95. Play comes along. Everybody has their songs assigned on which one they want to do. I particularly was Blue Suede Shoes, and I went with Elvis's version. And from that point on, there was no turning back, because then I kind of a little bit trying to gradually find about his music. It wasn't maybe like few years later where, let's say like that was 95, so let's say 98, 99, where I was able to go through him on internet online, let's say when I was at school. And then you could do a little bit more research. Back then, you only had to get some books from the library, And now, I forgot what particular book I actually did find about Elvis during that time, but I kind of really core about that. But only thing is, I know just for a fact, once the song just went through my head, I knew I was going to be a fan for the rest of the life, as I am today. Now, unfortunately, here is the VHS tape. It's in my hand right here, but I do not have the VHS player. I mean, it would be kind of a little bit shameful of me putting on myself singing Blue Suede Shoes, because I had to sing Blue Suede Shoes back then. That was for the play, and then we all initiated as like a group kind of thing, And I ended up being like almost like a James Dean kind of type with the black leather jacket, white shirt, the cool sunglasses and stuff like that, you know. So basically, I was like a mixture of Elvis and James Dean during the time of the play. So that is on this VHS tape. And hopefully down the line, whenever I do get the tape, I could kind of a little bit convert it back to digitally. And I will put it up on the YouTube so I can embarrass myself, you know, in front of you all. And you guys could watch Yosip singing at 8 years old, Blue Suede Shoes. Because I ain't going to sing it right now. That's a fact. As Ed would have said, you know, with his concert that he went out back in 1975, that we mostly heard of, that awesome CD that he put out. Me personally, I think he did a better job than me. So Ed, I'm giving you props on that one for singing along with Elvis, actually being with Elvis there. So kudos to you and big props on you for that one, brother. So down the line, as I gradually, like I was saying, from a kid and then growing into teenagers, I started to get some of his CDs. I had some cassettes. And then particularly there was this one LP record that I was given to by my aunt. Now, just give me a second. I'm going to probably pause at this video and cut a little bit edit and bring it back. Just 1 second. All right. So I'm back. Now, what particular record am I talking about that I was given to? So my first LP in my hands after that single that you see under the 45, it was this gem. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, Joey, I mean, that's stereo electronically reprocessed the record. You know, it doesn't sound good. I mean, majority of us don't really enjoy this electronically reprocessed stereo that RCA had done during the late 50s to kind of take like the mono mixes, trying to widen them up to becoming as a stereo, which I think, I don't know. I mean, me personally, I think it was a failure from that part. But once the living stereo did come out back of, I believe, the early 60s with the Elvis's back, that was just pure awesome. And the living stereo was just another top of notch of the world. So I believe I showed you this one to you guys when I actually did the review, but this was particularly, I believe, 1968 repress. Here's the inner sleeve that comes with it. It does have clam bake towards the end. As you can see, it's clam bake. I mean, the record itself is in a nice, fantastic, pristine looking. It's on a rigid vinyl as well. This is a rigid. As you can see, it's an orange label, RCA back in 68 when they were first coming out. Take a look. And of course the back. So this record particularly was about, let me see what pressing this is. It's a 5S M2PY 4729 5S of a stereo. But anyway, I do want to go on about not historically, but about myself, understanding and who Elvis was. So during the time I was growing up as a teenager, I got to understand more of his music, not just about the 1950s, even though that was his peak and his, you know, fame opening up to who he was. But there was so much great material out there. I just started to go, you know, learning, buying, whatever I can. So when I started first earning, you know, money and started working by age, I believe I was about 14, 15, you know, I would save a few dollars. I would buy maybe a record or a single that maybe didn't go more than like $10, you know, even less than that. And I ended up, as you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it, but this was one of the first, let's say like the memorabilia that are on the wall. 1, 2, 3. Those were the first ones. They went, I believe it was on Elvis Presley, shopgraceland.com. That's where I picked up those 3. And that you're talking about back in 2008, probably 7, around that time. And now I actually seen they do go pretty money as well, these limited number editions. But overall, I cannot be more grateful than actually sharing this experience with you guys, how I was first introduced to Elvis Presley himself, the music, and the person who he was after I started to, you know, gain a little bit more knowledge of who he is and who he was, even still today. There are so many great other Elvis channels out there that I took initiative of always listening, getting good knowledges, and understanding every teeny bit of info that could be put out there. So, you know, with you guys as well and me creating this channel, and I really appreciate it because I started this channel just because the enjoyment that I had. And his music, that's why I want to share always along with my turntable. I was trying to give you the authentic recordings from the vinyl record itself. But unfortunately, due to circumstances and apologies to YouTube, I had to remove almost 700 videos that I had put up in about a year span. And that was about, what, a couple of months ago. And it kind of a little bit put me down. It put me down in a sort of way that I almost kind of gave up on this channel. And but I said to myself, I kind of gave up because I started to build fan bases with you guys. And in a way, Elvis, he would not never given up himself as well, because you got to push yourself, be motivated to it. And I am greatly, greatly appreciative where I am today. Almost over, I think, about 2,500, 2,500 subscriber plus. Okay, so that's a big milestone for me. In less than just a year, what I have started this channel with you guys. But I did want to just share that story that, being as 8-year-old and finding out Elvis's music and listening to Blue Suede Shoe, even though it's not one of my top favorite tracks. I'm not saying he didn't do great, but it's just not, it's a song that's always going to stay in my heart, because that's a song that was first initiated, brought to my attention and my kid. But there's so many great materials out there, starting from old, let's say from the 68 special that came out through the 69 Chips Manoy and American Sound Studios, and then all the 70s as well. I mean, there's just so much great material out there, and you all know that as well. So again, this is just a quick little video. I believe this is going to be probably even more than just quick, but it's just a little short video for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's just me blabbering. Who knows what the hell excuse my language, but who knows what I'm just blabbering. But I just wanted to share this a little great kind of memories or being, out there. So guys, if you like, leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. When did you start listening to Elvis? What was your first impression? What was your first song that you actually learned, kind of got into listening to Elvis? If you could remember, So like I said, Blue Suede Shoes, it's going to always stay in my heart, because that's the first song that's got into me, knowing who Elvis was. Guys, I appreciate each one of you. I hope you all have a wonderful, blessed day. Stay well, stay safe, and until next time, take care.